All right, everyone. We have about um, we're about 80 attendees, and so we're gonna go ahead and get started. This call should take probably the full hour. We do have a decent number of slides to get through. I promise it's all very important information that you all need for your incredible week at Pebble Beach. A few housekeeping items before we get started. We do have a chat feature in this call. Please feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat. We'll go through and answer them at the end. If we do run out of time, we'll check those questions and then send them in an email later this week with a recording to this call. Without further ado, we will get started. So welcome to the 2025 Pure Insurance Championship Participant Information Call. This is Daniel Ferguson and Nicole Indikoff, our 2024 champions. Two of you will be on this slide next year. We'd like to start out by saying congratulations on your selection. We had 130 applications this year and a final field of 80. 47 males, 33 females, and 48 chapters will be represented at this year's Pure Insurance Championship. To introduce the core team that you will see on site at Pebble Beach, myself, Nicolette Scalf, I'm the Senior Manager of Events with First Tee Headquarters. This will be my 5th Pure Insurance Championship. You will hear from me a lot over the next few months. You will see me a lot on site. So if you see an email come through from me, please read it. I promise it's good information. You will also see my colleague Philip Weems on site. He's actually at our First Tee Game Changers Academy in Minnesota this week, so he's unable to join. And then Megan Hart heads up all of our communications efforts, storytelling, and PR, so you'll hear from her a little bit later. And I'm going to pass it over to Steve John with the Monterey Peninsula Foundation to introduce his team. Steve, you're muted.
We lost him.
Katie, do you want to jump?
I'll take over.
Okay.
We just lost our fearless leader, but that is Steve John. He is our CEO and tournament director with the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. We are so lucky to run 2 large golf tournaments. We run the AT&T Pro-Am in February, and then the Pure Insurance Championship, which is our favorite tournament by far. Steve's been with the Monterey Peninsula Foundation, I want to say going on 14 years, if not 14. And then myself, I'm Katie Holmes. I'm the Player Relations Manager. So I handle everything that has to do with players, from the evening events that you'll be attending, to player dining, to any event that takes place regarding a player, I handle, as well as the caddies. And I work very closely with Nicolette. Yeah, we've been doing this for it's been 3 years for me. I've been working with Nicolette, and we're really excited to welcome you guys. And then the last person is Amanda Lopez. She's not with us, but she's my right hand. Her title is Player Relations and Operations Manager. So she and I, you'll see us together pretty much the entire tournament. And then along with that, there's a total of 15 of us, or 14? 14 of us, Monterey Peninsula Foundation staff members, and we all work on site throughout the tournament as well. So you'll see a lot of friendly faces. We'll all be in uniform. There's basically 13 women and 1 man, and that's Steve John. So, oh, he's back. Hi, Steve.
How are you? Am I muted now or no?
You're good. We can hear you.
God, I'm so sorry. You think I learned this thing over all these years of having Zoom calls. So I'm so excited to be kicking off this call. I heard Katie go through the introduction, but we're more excited about having you than you probably are coming to us. It's a very, very special week. You probably have no idea what's going to happen, but just know it'll be memorable. Take advantage of everything that's there for you. We are here for you to make sure you have the best week of your life in the Pebble Beach Peninsula. So with that, pass it back to Katie or Nicolette.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Katie. All right, tournament format. I promise I've scheduled or formatted this call to go over all of the mundane stuff first, and then we will get into the very fun stuff later, like uniforms and other stuff. So to start out with the tournament format, it is 54 holes of best ball with your Champions Tour Pro. Best ball is also called four ball. So on each hole, say the pro gets a 5, you get a 4, you're going to count that 4 for your score for that hole. There are 3 concurrent competitions going on during this event, so there's a lot of moving pieces. There's the Champions Tour individual tournament that's going on. There's the Pro Junior format that's going on, and then there's the Pro, Junior, and Amateur. So juniors can contribute to the amateur score, but amateurs do not contribute to the junior score. So there is a cut after 36 holes to the low 12 boys and 12 girls. A question we do get a lot about the cut is if your professional is cut, does that mean that you don't make the cut? And that's not the case. The cut line for the juniors is separate from the professional's individual cut. So it does happen where the Champions Tour player will miss the cut as an individual. Sometimes, most of the time, the Champions Tour player will come back and play the final round with you. If they do not, we will get you repaired with another Champions Tour pro that did make the cut. So you won't play by yourself on Sunday, I promise. Ties for the cut will be broken using the juniors round at Pebble Beach. And the approximate yardages, and I say approximate because these can change at the discretion of the Champions Tour. For the ladies division is about 5,400 yards, and then the boys division is 6,600 yards to 6,800 yards. The boys division will play the pro tees at Pebble Beach, and they will play the men's amateur tees at Spyglass. You will thank us for that when you go play Spyglass because it is a very challenging golf course. Travel. You should have read the acceptance packet by now and have an idea of when you plan to arrive to Pebble, booking your hotel, looked at the the Hyatt booking link. So arrival needs to be by Tuesday, September 16th. We did put in the acceptance packet that you should arrive at noon. That's to the state of California. What you really need to do is arrive to Pebble Beach to register before we close registration at 3. Registration hours are Tuesday, the 16th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We do tend to have a long line right at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, which we love because we love how excited you are. And then Wednesday, we will have registration open again from 8 to noon in case you have any flight delays or you get in a little bit late and you miss registration on Tuesday. So don't fret if you miss it on Tuesday. We'll have it open for you on Wednesday. Departure anytime on Monday, September 22nd is fine. If you are driving to Pebble Beach and you want to depart on Sunday, that's totally fine. If you're flying, we do highly recommend that you leave on Monday. The scheduled finish is at 6 p.m. That is due to the broadcast schedule. So unless you plan on taking a red eye at like midnight, it's probably best and safest option to just depart on Monday the 22nd. Booking travel is the responsibility of the chapter or the parent or guardian. That includes the hotel, airfare, and rental cars. We did provide a discounted rate to the Hyatt in Monterey. The link was included in the acceptance packet, and it is 1 room per participant. That is strictly enforced. I do get the rooming list from the hotel once or twice a week. Just we're monitoring to make sure that nobody's booking 2 or 3 rooms. We want to make sure everybody who needs a room gets a room. Stipends. This year, for those that might have had friends or family attend in the past, stipends are a little bit different this year. So the stipend amount is up to $2,200 per participant. And the stipend provided by HQ is to assist with the cost of lodging. $2,200 should cover what you need to be on site at the Hyatt in Monterey. The cost for flights, rental cars, etc. is not taken into consideration for this stipend amount. Final stipends depend on the number of nights you actually spend in the host hotel or final cost of accommodations if using alternative lodging. Say you decide to stay in an Airbnb, you decide to stay in a different host hotel, that's fine. Just know that the stipend will remain up to that $2,200. Final stipend amounts will be communicated to chapters prior to the start of the tournament. And stipends are sent directly to the chapters once participants are confirmed on site at Pebble Beach during registration. It does take about 3 to 4 weeks for our accounting team to process those. So participants, you'll need to reach out to your chapters about a month after the tournament to accommodate the reimbursement of your stipend. Needs-based airfare stipends. This was outlined in the acceptance packet, but it's newer this year, so we just want to cover it. So participants who will be flying to the event will have the option to apply for an airfare stipend by completing a financial form on SurveyMonkey Apply. Airfare stipends will be provided to participants and chaperones who demonstrate a financial barrier due to the cost of traveling to Pebble Beach. Only the cost incurred for the participant and chaperone will be considered. So any costs associated with an additional parent, additional family members, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle to come are not taken into consideration for the needs-based stipends or the regular stipend we talked about on the previous slide. And participants who drive to the event, either by choice or because you live within 150 miles of Pebble Beach, are not eligible for the transportation stipend. The financial form is optional. You do not have to complete it, and you do not have to apply for the needs-based airfare stipend. So if you don't want to fill that out, you can go ahead and skip that on SurveyMonkey Apply. Chaperone guidelines. It is mandatory for each participant to bring a parent, guardian, or immediate family member over the age of 25 to be their chaperone. The chaperones are responsible for driving the junior to and from the golf course, from the airport to their practice round, to any social events and player meetings. Chaperones cannot caddy or be inside the ropes, including during practice rounds. A violation of this will result in the loss of your chaperone credential. Chaperones can give advice only during the practice round, but that must be from outside the ropes. And chaperones must also stay outside the ropes at the practice facility. So chaperones are not allowed on the driving range or on the practice putting greens. There are 80 tour pros, 80 first tee juniors, and Katie, I think 156 amateurs. So there are a lot of people. If you add another 80 chaperones, it's a lot of people in the practice facility. So additional guests and family, we get this question a lot. It is free to attend the Pure Insurance Championship. There is no ticket required. Credentials and frequently asked questions. So the chaperone credential cannot be switched amongst family members or with chapter reps. The chaperone credential will have the name of the chaperone who was provided in your acceptance documents. So there's no switching of credentials. Again, if it's found that you've switched your credential, that credential will be taken. Practice rounds, those times are assigned by Katie and yours truly, and will be communicated in the player app closer to the tournament. This is, we get asked this question a lot, so this is just a reminder, and it does tend to happen. So if your tour pro asks you to play a practice round that conflicts with your assigned time, you will forfeit your assigned time and may not be able to play both golf courses before the tournament begins. So what that means is if you have an assigned practice round on Spyglass at 9 a.m. and your tour pro asks you to play Pebble with them at 9 a.m., you're forfeiting that 9 a.m. practice round time at Spyglass, and then your practice round the next day would be scheduled for Pebble as well. So just keep that in mind. There are no spectator carts. Emphasize no. I know in junior golf we're used to being able to rent spectator carts. There are no golf carts for spectators, even staff really, at Pebble Beach. Information on renting an ADA scooter is listed on page 5 of the acceptance packet. That is the responsibility of the family to rent that scooter, pick it up, etc. There are a small number of push carts available to rent at both Spyglass and Pebble. They are first come, first served, and you do have to return those after every round. You can't reserve one for the whole week. Rangefinders are permitted for juniors and amateurs. And this is another question we do get a lot. Most of the Champions Tour pros are really great at being at the pairings party. Some do not attend. Maybe they haven't gotten into town yet, but First Tee or the Monterey Peninsula Foundation do not facilitate introductions with the Champions Tour players. They will receive your contact information. So if they reach out to you to schedule that practice round time with you, then that's great. But again, sometimes they don't. So media and broadcast. I'm going to pass it over to Megan to cover this.
Hi, my name is Megan Hart. I work at First Tee headquarters. I'm so excited for all of you. Congratulations on being selected for the Pure Insurance Championship. It's going to be a really special week. I just wanted to take a quick minute to talk a little bit about the media and broadcast taking place that week. When you check in, right after you check in at registration with Nicolette, you'll see me, and we have short bios on all the players that we've written based on your applications. You will have a chance to make updates to those. Those bios may be distributed to the media that we have on site. The tournament is broadcast on Golf Channel. The tee times are determined the week of the tournament, so we don't have those yet. But based on the tee times, we will be able to tell which players may appear in the telecast. We will reach out to those players. That will be for Friday and Saturday. So we will reach out to those players on Thursday and Friday and just let them know that they could be interviewed mid-round, and we'll provide some sample questions so that they can do a little bit to prepare. The tournament will also be on Sunday. Any player who makes the cut could appear in that television window. But I think, that's about all I have for you. Nicolette added a bullet point about being smart about what you post on social media. We really hope that you have an amazing time and share the experience on social media. But we know that chapter representatives see what you post. We may see what you post. So that is good advice. If you do have any questions or concerns, I don't love public speaking. I know that's not everyone's thing. Please feel free to reach out to me if you're nervous at all. It is certainly not an obligation that you have to do it during the tournament. But mostly just, be yourself and have fun. That's always what makes for the best social media and telecast. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And for those chapter reps that are on here, we do encourage you to get photos and content from your players. We at HQ and also the tournament run social media pages cannot reshare directly from a participant. So if you post it, we can definitely reshare it. So that's just a reminder about social media. And then players, I always say this, if you don't want your grandmother to see it, you shouldn't be posting it. So please be mindful about what you put on your social media. We have had to send players home before because they posted something on social media that they shouldn't have. It was seen. There's, like I said, 156 amateurs, 80 tour pros. You never know who's looking at your social media. So be careful, be smart. All right, that is, I think, all of the more tedious logistical items. So now into the fun things, and what I think all the juniors want to know about is apparel and uniforms. So let's get into it. Uniforms. Each participant will be required to wear the uniform golf shirts provided for each day of the competition. So that's Friday through Sunday. Each participant will be provided 3 polos, a light jacket, and a hat or visor. As far as hats go, only the uniformed issue hat or visor will be allowed during practice and tournament rounds. This is a picture of Nicole Inyakov, our girls champion from last year. She's wearing the hat that will be provided. We get questions about, for cooler weather, beanies, toques, whatever you guys call them. Those are fine. I would just say be mindful of what the logo is. Also, if you have a First Tee one, that would be great. If you can avoid wearing other junior tour labeled, beanies and stuff like that, that would be awesome. But as far as headgear goes, it should be the tournament issued hat or visor. If you want to know what your shirts are going to look like, this is pending, no issues with supply. This is what your polos will be for the week. And don't worry, I will send out pictures of them later too, so you can match pants. But since we kind of had them already determined, I figured it was nice to share them with you guys today. So these are the jackets and polos you will receive. They are listed here in no particular order. We will let you know what colors you will wear which day. The boys and girls will not wear pink both in the same day. We like to switch it up so that the colors are cohesive and everything looks good on the broadcast. But these are the jackets that you'll be receiving. Girls, yours is a full zip hoodie. I would say it was pretty good. It's very similar to the one that the girls received last year, so it was fairly warm. I would consider though in the mornings you might want to have an extra layer underneath your polo or your jacket. The weather on the Monterey Peninsula in September can be somewhat unpredictable. Sometimes in the morning it's 50 degrees, but that might feel a little bit cooler because of the marine layer and the wind. And then by the afternoon, it's a beautiful 70 degrees. So just come prepared. I don't know if anybody wants to take a screenshot of this page. Now's your time to do that. I'll give you 5 seconds. All right. The next slide is very, very exciting. Thanks to our partners at Ping, each junior will receive a custom Ping Hoover bag that's going to be shipped directly to the chapters in the coming weeks. Chapter reps on this call, there was a link sent out to you to confirm the shipping address for your chapter. Please make sure you provide that to me by the 16th so I can send those over to Ping and they will drop ship directly to you. So these are the bags that juniors will receive. A couple rules with the bags. Do not use these before the Pure Insurance Championship. We want to make sure they look nice and new for the tournament. There is white on the bag, so we want to make sure that you guys, don't get them all dirty before the week. This bag also has to be used. It's mandatory to use this during the tournament. If you forget the bag on your way to Pure, I would suggest overnighting it from home. So, chapter reps, please, when you receive these bags, just open them up, make sure everything looks good. If there's any issues, please reach out to me as soon as possible. So these are the bags you'll receive. We're super excited about them. Pairings party. Again, for those who might have had friends or family go in the past, we have tightened up the dress code for the pairings party. It is strictly business casual. So jeans, athleisure, leggings, sweatpants, athletic sneakers, etc. are not permitted. We need to dress to impress. You will all be announced and be walking across the stage in front of all of the guests, all of the Champions Tour pros. I don't think you want to do that in sweatpants. Just not a good idea. I mean, maybe you do, but I'm telling you right now, that's not allowed. So for men, I did not provide you guys any pictures of what business casual looks like because men, I think you guys have it easy as far as business casual. Polo, slacks, a button-up dress shirt is fine. Sport coat or tie are optional but recommended. So if you want to wear a button-up shirt with just a coat over it, that's totally fine. You do not need to wear a coat, dress shirt, and tie, if that makes sense. And then ladies, I have some examples listed over on the side, which I did pull from Pinterest. But this is what business casual should look like in a little bit cooler weather. Slacks, a sweater, a blazer. You can wear your loafers or like a fashion sneaker, but these are just some really good examples of what business casual should look like for ladies, since I know it's a little bit up in the air what business casual is for us. I do not recommend wearing a dress because we will be outside in the evening. Again, on the Monterey Peninsula, it does tend to be pretty cold. I usually wear like a longer puffy jacket, so just keep that in mind. And then shoes for this evening are business casual, but like I said, fashion sneakers are okay. And what that means is like a Veja or an Air Force One or Samba, something like that. So if you have any questions on what is appropriate or approved, just reach out and let me know. The Legends and Leaders viewing party is a little bit more casual than the pairings party, but still we want to dress business casual or golf attire. Jeans, athleisure, leggings, sweatpants are not permitted. This picture on the side is from a couple years ago. You'll see again, we are outside. We are right on the water on 18. This night can be pretty chilly, so wear your jackets, wear long pants. You can wear a hat or a beanie if you'd like to, but again, we'll be outside, so dress warm. Do's and don'ts for attire. Male participants must wear long pants for tournament rounds. You're probably going to want to wear pants because it's a little chilly. Ladies, for skirts and shorts, skirts and skirts must be no more than 5 inches above the knee. Tennis skirts, running skirts, etc. are not acceptable. Leggings may only be worn under rain gear, shorts, or skirts. Hoodies, joggers, and other athleisure wear is not permitted unless specifically made for golf. There are a lot of golf brands now that are making hoodies, joggers, stuff like that. So if you have a question about whether you think it's okay, just reach out and let me know. Ladies, a lot of the girls in the past have chosen to wear golf pants for the week. I know that's what I generally wear when I'm on site. So FootJoy, Adidas, Lady Hagen all have really good options. And then cold weather gear, it is recommended to pack for cooler temps. Like we've said a couple times now, the weather on the Monterey Peninsula Foundation can be a little here or there at that time of year. Last year we had a day that was in the 80s, and then the next day in the morning it's 50 and freezing, and I'm getting made fun of for wearing a beanie and a big parka jacket. And then during practice rounds, it is recommended that you wear First Tee logoed apparel. So if you have logoed apparel from your chapter, that would be a really good time to wear that. All right, schedule of events. This is fully listed out in the acceptance packet. I believe it's on the final page. But again, Tuesday, September 16th, registration is open from 8 to 3. There is a play day at the Hay. There are no practice rounds on Tuesday, but juniors do have the option to go play the Hay, the par 3 course. It's a really great fun course. They will have shaved ice available from 12 to 3. At 4:30 is the participant and chaperone orientation up at the Pebble Beach Golf Academy, which is the driving range. This is mandatory for all participants and all registered chaperones. So participants will go with Philip, chaperones, you'll come with me. We'll go over expectations for the week. It'll take about 30 minutes. And then the pairings party and concert starts at 6 p.m. This is also at the Pebble Beach Golf Academy. This includes a strolling dinner. Katie and her team do a wonderful job of putting together the different food options. It's a really nice evening. And then we have the pairings reveal and then a concert. This is for the participant and the chaperone. There will be an option to purchase one additional ticket if you would like to, and that information is going to be provided a little bit later. On Wednesday, registration is open from 12 to noon for those that may have arrived late from a delayed flight. And then practice rounds will be scheduled on both Pebble Beach and Spyglass. So like we said earlier, you'll play Pebble one day, Spyglass the other, or vice versa. The Legends and Leaders viewing party is 6:30 that evening on the wharf, which is just like a grandstand hospitality build out behind the 18th green. This evening is for participants only. So chaperones, you get to drop your juniors off with me. I'll keep them for an hour or two and you can go have a nice dinner either at the lodge at Pebble Beach or somewhere in downtown Monterey. And then Thursday, the 18th, we just have practice rounds. Friday and Saturday, tournament rounds. And then Sunday will be the final round. For those juniors who missed the cut, we'll have a mandatory outing at the Hay at 10 a.m. We'll play for some merch from the Hay. We'll make it fun, do a format. You can pick your 4-ball partner. And then the award ceremony, like we said earlier, is a 6 p.m. scheduled finish, and the awards will happen right after play is finished, right on the 18th green. We'll also take a group photo with the Champions Tour winner. So that really concludes the information that you need as of right now. This reiterated a lot of the information that was provided in the acceptance packet. So as next steps, the acceptance forms on SurveyMonkey Apply need to be completed by Tuesday, July 16th. This includes travel forms, medical forms, a registration form. For participants who will be 18 on site, there is a mandatory safe sport training that should take about 20 minutes. Book the Hyatt Monterey. The last day to book is August 29th, but it's better to get on that ahead of time. Again, 1 room per participant, strictly enforced. And then the event app that we've been talking about, information on that will be sent out closer to probably the first week of September. It's an app that you'll put on your phone, and that's how we'll communicate with you on site. That's where your practice round tee times will be posted, apparel will be posted. I can send you push notifications, your tournament rounds are posted, etc. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, we will move into some questions. Alrighty. 30 minutes, not bad. Alrighty, if a second parent wanted to come, could they come and spectate at the courses? Yes, absolutely. Like we said earlier, it is free to attend the event. But the cost for an additional family member to come is at the discretion of the family. Are players allowed to bring their own push cart? Yes. Compression sleeve, as far as uniforms go, yes, that is fine. Any layering pieces under your polos is fine. If you want to wear, like, when I was a kid, we called them Under Armour shirts, but it's basically like a warm weather shirt underneath is totally fine. What color pants should be worn? We usually say to go with like your standard gray, navy, khaki, white. Just with the colors that we provided for the uniforms, we just want to make sure that it matches and cohesive. And if you wind up on the TV window, you're not going to regret the pants that you wore in 10 years. But there is no like set color that you absolutely have to wear. Can chaperone caddy or spectate for the practice rounds? No. Juniors are carrying their bags the whole week, so it is recommended that you start working on your cardiovascular strength right now, because you are going to be carrying or pushing your own bag and walking for up to 5 rounds during the week. And Spyglass is kind of hilly, so keep that in mind. Oh, it looks like that some of these questions were already answered. Thank you, Katie. That must have been you. Let's see. Confirming we can bring our own push carts? Yes. Wow, a lot of push cart questions. What brand are the shirts? The shirts are FootJoy.
Pedal and Spyglass have so many push carts too. There's a couple that are going to be available.
Any tips or advice on parking and drop-off locations to practice trains, the courses, spectator parking? That information will all be provided in the player app. We'll have parking guides. There is a big lot, it's called Lot 10, where you'll be parking pretty much every day. It's right next to the driving range, and then they'll have shuttles from there to get you to various points at the tournament. Are yardage book provided? Yes. Do you have an idea how much it would cost if we wanted to bring 5 family members to watch? Well, it's free to spectate, so other than the cost of food, nothing. Following our practice rounds, are we allowed to remain on property until dark to use the range, putting, and chipping greens? You can stay on property to use practice facilities until they're closed. Practice facility hours will be listed in the player app. Are we allowed to bring your own caddy? There are no caddies for juniors at any point in the tournament. Again, we've been asked this a couple of times. We covered it in the PowerPoint. No caddies for juniors whatsoever. Can family get on the shuttle buses? Spectators can get on shuttles, but the players are going to take priority. All right, we got through those pretty quickly. Any other questions here? Is there free time to explore other courses? Yeah, I mean, and other than the times where you're scheduled for a practice round, tournament round, or one of the evening functions, that time is your own. Highly recommend going down to downtown Monterey to Cannery Row, maybe going to the aquarium, go to downtown Carmel for dinner one night. It's really cool over there. SurveyMonkey needs to be completed by Wednesday the 16th. Let's see. Spectators allowed during practice rounds. Yes, spectators are allowed during practice rounds. Another thing to note is on the tournament website, it does say that spectators are not allowed at Spyglass. However, that does not apply to the juniors to an extent. So it's not open really to the public to spectate, but juniors can have obviously their chaperone, and then additional family members, chapter reps can go spectate at Spyglass. I'll probably get asked that question a couple more times before the tournament starts. Thank you for being so thorough. You are so welcome. It's like Katie and I have done this before. We love it. Does stipend cover parking fee at the hotel? Parking is free at the hotel, which is another great thing, and the resort fee is waived. So The rate for the Hyatt in Monterey is just for the cost of your night stay and then taxes and fees, but parking is free and the resort fee is waived. Can you play practice rounds other than the allotted ones? No, you will only have the 2 assigned practice round times. Due to emergency, if a chaperone cannot make it, can other family member be a chaperone? Yes, absolutely. If there's any, last minute changes, something comes up, please just reach out and let us know. We'll get that chaperone credential switched out. It's not, as long as it's a family member over the age of 25, no issues there. Are Strike-A-Line books conforming for the tournament? Yeah, usually as long as it meets the USJ's rules for green reading material, then you should be fine, but you are going to receive yardage books for both golf courses. How do we receive our bags? Your ping bags are going to be drop shipped to your chapter in the coming weeks. They'll hopefully be there by mid-August. I'm going to email all the chapters the information about shipping as soon as I have it from Ping. And then participants, you'll coordinate with your chapter on picking up your bag from your programming location. These are all good questions. Keep them coming. I love it. I could talk about this event all day. And don't be afraid to ask a question. No, no question's a bad question. I'd rather you ask them now than feel like you don't have the information that you want. Any recommendation for golf bag shipping when traveling? If you don't have a carry bag or a check bag for your golf bag, I would see if maybe your chapter can assist and somebody there has one you can borrow. If not, I do believe Pebble is set up with ShipSticks, Katie, if that's correct. So you could coordinate to use ShipSticks. Do players need tickets for food? Your credential is going to be your pass into player dining. So you will use that. You're going to have each player will have a credential that they'll use. They'll show the very nice volunteers that sit up at player dining every day, and then they'll let you in. How does the pro selection get done? The pro selection gets done by myself and Megan meeting with the Champions Tour team, and we go through the list of juniors and Champions Tour pros and try to pair you off based on commonalities, or if a Champions Tour pro has won in your market, or you have similar hobbies. So, how much does it cost to bring an extra family member? Well, it's free to attend the tournament. If you want an extra family member to attend, travel costs is kind of, at your discretion, looking at airlines and any additional food. Do most people typically carry or push their bags for both practice and tournament rounds? It's really up to you. Just depends on what you're most comfortable with. It is a lot of golf, so if you're worried about being able to carry your bag that long, then I would definitely push. I think a lot more people are pushing their bags these days. I probably should have done that when I was a junior. My chiropractor bills can attest to that. Where does ShipSticks send the clubs? To the course or to the hotel? It would be to the course. It'd be to Pebble Beach. At player dining, is the chaperone allowed to eat there as well? Yes, player dining is for the junior and the credentialed chaperone. Can we book a different hotel? Yes, absolutely. You can book a different hotel. Are tee times assigned for the hay on Tuesday, or do we make it since it's optional? You can just show up and go check in at the pro shop at the hay, which is inside the Pebble Beach Golf Academy, and they'll get you set up and out on the course. Would you provide shirt sizes in the survey? Shirt sizes were provided when you applied to the event, so if you'd like to know what size you asked for, just let me know. The apparel has already been held, so we're not going to be able to accommodate any swaps right now. You can make some swaps on site if needed. Who is performing the concert? Katie, do you mind answering that one?
Yeah, sure. We have DJ Eris Carter. You can find him on Instagram. But yeah, we have a DJ performing along with maybe a few other guest appearances.
Can we pay for another family member to eat? Unfortunately, no. Player dining is going to be strictly for credentialed tournament players, juniors, or the chaperone. There is a really great market, the Pebble Beach Market, that's a couple 100 feet from player dining that has some really great options for the day. They have a club sandwich that I probably have almost every day I'm on property. When you book the Monterey Hotel, is only the chaperone allowed in the room, or guests should make it 2 adults and 1 player? Who stays in your hotel room is up to you. Most of the rooms are 2 queens. So if you have mom and dad, brother, sister, that's totally fine. If we book a different hotel, do we still need to upload the confirmation number? Yes, please upload your confirmation details so we know what the intended or the expected cost is going to be for your hotel stay. This will help us determine your final stipend amount. We have time for a couple more questions. All right. Well, Katie, Steve, do you guys have any departing words?
No, we're just super excited to welcome this group of First Tee members, teams, juniors.
Absolutely. We are thrilled to have you here, and any questions, just hit Nicolette and she'll pass any questions that are specific to the foundation and the tournament to us.
Yep.
Look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, can't wait to meet everyone at the pairings party. It's really exciting. It's the pairings party. You guys are gonna love it.
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun.
We had 2 more quick travel questions before we close it out. If we book our travel through Expedia, how will that work with the stipend? So if you book through Expedia, if you can provide an itemized receipt, that would be really helpful. Otherwise, we have to track you down and figure out what the separate costs are with airfare, hotel, rental car. And then another question was, does that mean if we stay in a cheaper hotel, we don't get the 2,200? That is correct. So you get up to 2,200 to cover your accommodation. So if you only spend 2,000, then that's what your stipend amount will be. All right. Well, if anybody has any additional questions, please feel free to reach out. My email is always open. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If there's a question that I can't answer, I will pass it along to Steve and Katie, and we'll get that answer for you. Just remember, the SurveyMonkey forms are due 1 week from today. I will be out of the office at the U.S. Girls Junior Saturday through next Thursday, so my response time will be a little bit delayed. So if you have any questions, please try to get those over to me by Friday, and I will answer them as quickly as I can. Other than that, so excited for you all. I love going out to this event and getting to see you guys experience Pebble for the first time. So super excited. If you need anything, please let me know. I'm going to share a link to the recording of this later this week. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Nicolette.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks.
Good job.